Hey guys, welcome back to Buster's Corner. This is the Phoenix pre-race review or show. We got Philip Henry. Philip, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, Bob. How about you?
Good, 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 good. I got I'm showing the video of you turning some laps up there while we're talking to these guys. But a couple of quick things here, you guys. I have opened up the donating channel on the YouTube side of Buster's Corner. I'm not going to put it on the Discord side. Uh, But so in the comments down below, there's a link to PayPal if you want to throw a couple bucks in for server time. At the end of the videos, you will see one of those QR codes that you can scan with your phone if you want to throw a buck in the pot for uh, helping out with the server time. Um, the making the videos does not generate enough cash flow. Actually doesn't create any cash flow. Um, and that was my plan, was to get the videos to support the Discord channel and other stuff that we're doing over there. So I decided to go ahead and put the donate button up there. Like I said, it's down below in the comments. And at the end of my videos, there'll be a QR code you can scan if you want to throw a buck in the kitty. Okay, let's get on to where we are. So we're working Phoenix, and Philip, why don't you go ahead and jump in your car and do some laps while I talk about some of the setup stuff. This way you're not talking and driving at the same time, because that does not produce quality laps. It does not.
No, it does not. We've
Okay,
learned that the last couple weeks.
we're going to his cockpit here. Okay, and while he's doing that, actually I don't want to do that because that's noisy. We'll just watch it from afar. So let me bring up Philip's setup here. He's running the 1.0 PBH. Yep. All right. As we look at his, and I'm kind of reverting to mine. There's his tires. He's running a higher tire on the right-hand side. Uh, and springs, he's got 2,500 across the front. Across the back, he's got an 11 and a 1250. So he's running only 150 pound split in those rear springs. We've heard that before. You don't need to run a big split on these cars, and that's what he's doing there. In turn, you can see he's running a P2 on the rear ARV, a 13 and a P2, and he's also running the 2.0 and the P5 up front with the 53 cross. So his cross is pretty low um, compared to, say, a typical 55 to a 56 setup. So he's getting his rotation from here, and that P2 in the back's giving him some good rotation. Cambers are not out of the ballpark. Uh, they're right there in line. Everything looks good. All that looks good. Notes. He's got any notes up here? Buster Buddies Facebook, Tomahawk, Stent Analyzer. There we go. The Henry boys. And you'll find there's a link to his YouTube page somewhere. I've got it somewhere. All right. Let's jump in the cockpit now with him and see what he's got going on. As you guys know, I mean, this is turn 2. It's really confusing for the old guys, which one's 1, 2, where the heck is turn 3 and 4? Coming down at turn 3. And turn 4 is actually the flagman. Before the flagman is 4, then you hit the dog leg.
Yeah, I take a little bit of an unconventional approach, I feel like, especially from what I saw last night. I found this out running some test laps last night after the practice race, and I wasn't shifting enough as I should, and then also I was entering way too low down in 1 and 2. I found I like running this high entry over here in 1 and 2. It really allows me to almost dive in a little bit deep and brake later and get a good run down this backstretch, or yeah, what is now the backstretch.
Which looks like a qualifying run to me, which may give you issues if you have a car on the inside of you or the outside of you.
Yeah, and if you get a good head of steam, you can easily miss that breaking point like I just did and end up being a lane off the bottom down here in 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm. Now the pre-race last night, William Phillip 8, he passed me right there on the high side. But I think he also had newer tires than I did. Not by much so, but he was still able to pull it off. All right, that looks good. Let's okay, and that's filled. So now I'm gonna throw my setup in here and run a few laps. Phoenix, and I'm running the 1.6C, which I got after last night's race because the car had some issues. Real quick, Phillips laps he just ran. He's got a 5, 3, 4, 5, 7, 7, 0. Good consecutive. A 5, got a 3 and a 4 to 5. Good consecutive laps. I'm typically not that consecutive of a guy. All right, let's see here. Let's see, Philip, do you have my setup on your side?
I do. I do not have the 1.6C though.
Okay, hold on. Let me share this with you here. There you go. It's up there. Once you load that, and you can talk about comparisons between the two. And really, both of them, I mean, there's not, I mean, as far as speed-wise, I think, and tire-wise, I think they're pretty close enough to say they're the same as far as the end results, I believe. I think what you're going to find is just a driving style difference here, I think.
Yeah, I think driving style would be a is a big thing here. There's a lot of different lines I feel like, especially down in 1 and 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you a different line. You got that loaded?
I got it.
Okay, I'm gonna do some laps. Let you yak.
All right, so Bob has actually worked on this for a little bit longer. One thing he mentioned was my rights are a little bit higher than his. He's got 28s on the right side. Now, that's going to generate a little bit more heat, but it's also going to let that, it's going to have some less stagger, if you will. The nose weight, we are the same, but he's actually got a higher left front spring rate at a 3825 than the right front, which is at 3800. That's probably going to hold that left front down a little bit more, wouldn't you say, Bob?
Yep.
And so you're going to get, you should be able to pull left more. He's got P1, a 2-inch P1 front ARB, same rear ARB as I do. And we actually have very similar ARB preloads, which equates to almost the same crossweight. So he's got a little bit higher rear end, stiffer rear end, so it's not going to squat as hard. It should be allow a little bit better aero platform down the straight. The rear shouldn't squat as much and shouldn't bounce as much as it probably would on mine. But Bob actually has a different shock package than we have been in the past. Bob, who worked on the shocks this week? Was that you or Tom? Or,
Nope,
or
I did that. I was kind of ahead of schedule, and I had time to go play with them a little bit, and I got some speed out of them.
Yeah, I know we took your shocks and put them on my sub. I decided to go with all 10s this week, and rather than just leaving the stock shocks in there. But Bob has actually put a lot of work into these shocks, so I think he's got some numbers that actually might play out and help. But they did not work on mine because I got different spring packages, different ride heights, different cambers. You've got a lot of toe, I see, in the front end. You've got -2 30-seconds or -116 in the front end on the left front, whereas I'm running 0. Is there a reason you did that?
Yeah, a couple of things. One, it should help you on corner entry with that left tire. Two, it's going to generate more heat in that left tire, so that tire becomes more active in the whole process of when tires get hot, they start working better. If that left front's left too cold all the time, it doesn't really do nothing for you over there.
Yeah, that is very true. You probably will also not lock it up. Would you say that?
I don't know. I didn't think of it that way.
I think since it's got a little bit more heat in it, it's a little bit more sticky.
Yeah,
Um,
that's kind of the theory I was working on with that. Because we always run them at zeros. We always do. And I know iRacing does not calculate bump steer at all. They said it straight out. It's too complicated for them to do bump steer. So tow does not do anything for you for bump steer, but it should help you like we do in the rear. Here's a fun fact for you. If the car is too tight, take that right rear toe and increase it, and it'll make you loose on exit. Just a couple of clicks will make this car spin out. If it's too loose, lower that right rear number.
yeah, make it more negative, and it should tighten you up. Or if you make it closer to 0 or go positive with it, it should or negative with it, it should loosen you up.
Yeah, I did it with Brother
Close the
Bill.
wall.
I did it with Brother Bill. He was, saying, "Well, I'm too loose, I'm too tight." But he was too tight. I said, "Well, take that right rear toe and increase that. I think it's a positive on the right rear. Increase
Yes.
that a couple of clicks and go try it again." He goes, "Oh, there you go. That's what I was missing." So,
Yeah, I've decided to run the a 1/32 on both the left rear and right rear this week, because I found that if you really have a bunch of wheel in it, you can really snap, and you can just kind of slowly spin yourself out off the corner, whether it be off a 4 or off a 2. Now on the gearing, you're not shifting at all, are you?
no, I'm running the snot out of it. I'm doing exactly what you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to keep that RPM down around, what, 88, 86 to 88. But I'm running this thing. I think. Let me see this next turn here.
Yeah, I was when I ran the that gear last night, in your setup, running some test laps. I was just, if I went just a hair more,
96.
I was touching it.
About 96, 97 100 RPM.
Yeah, that is right there, almost at the chip.
So that also gives you rotation under throttle.
Yeah, whereas I'm using shifting to help turn that car in the center of the corner. You're just letting the natural RPM, not downgrade, but just natural lowering speed of the motor.
Yeah, you get a little bit of braking. You get a little braking on entry, and then on exit, we're spinning that right rear tire to get the drive up off it.
Yeah. Now your left sides is your left side rake fairly even? It looks like, as I'm watching you go around the track right here on the straights, it almost looks like you don't have a whole lot of left side negative rake.
No, I think I do. I'll pull it up here in Motec here in a second.
Yeah, you the right sides looked really high up. It could have just been the TV view I was looking at.
Let's see, what do we get on my run? I got a 4.44.678.99.0223, and there's there's the fall off. I mean, it's not a full. It was almost a full second. 27.4 to 28.3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 laps in. Yeah, well, that's not fair. I got the jaw jacking around the last 3 or 4 laps. I'm gonna blame it on that.
We do know the tire fall off is there. I pitted last night in the pre-race, like at lap 24. I was in 7th, and I ended up coming out like 3rd.
So I'm looking
after everybody was cycling through, and then we had that caution.
Yeah, I wanted to pit around lap 30, so I'm going to cut the race in half. And then sure enough, some knucklehead spun out 2 laps later. Because we were all strung out pretty good. I didn't see a yellow coming because we were all running so good with each other. What a mistake that was, huh?
Yeah, I was actually building super tight, and on the initial setup, the one I was before this one that I released, and I didn't expect it to be that tight. But we see as the temperature comes up, the car, or my car and your car, I know you talked about it gets tighter.
Yeah. Well, I was getting what do you call it? Tight loose. It was tight
Yeah.
going into the corner, but then it was getting loose on exit. So I'm looking at my tires right here on my right sides, right center. I got 258 right front center and a 259 right rear center. And I'm at 91% in the right front and 92% in the right rear. So that tells me I'm still a hair loose, and I could feel it in the car. I was still a hair loose. Um, I mean, it almost got uncomfortable loose. So I may have to do something with this car. You know
You
what?
may wanna bump up that front sway bar to a P2. Um, it's the softer you can get that front sway bar
Yeah.
for my setup. It's like you can really get a bunch of good rotation early, and then it's like it just allows that front to keep on gripping, whereas the rears lose traction later in the run.
Yeah. So that's going to tighten up the. That's going to tighten the car up a little bit. All right. I'm going to save that as D. All right. We'll try that tonight. Okay. All right. And just a quick look at the Motec. How much time do we have left? 15 minutes. I'm going to pull the Motec here for these guys. And let's see, my 13 laps right there. And there's a shock package. We're going to the overview real quick. Um, let me see here. So my fastest lap down the center of turns 1 and 2, I've got a negative 0.72 rake in the car. And go down to the turns 3 and 4 in the center. And that's also a negative 75 rake in the middle of that turn for my fastest lap. So if you look at that negative rake, so let's go, that's lap 1, jump to lap 12, and it's a negative 72 rake. So actually the rake didn't really change much there at all. It went down by 0.02, 0.03 between the first lap and the 12th lap. The rake's not changing a whole lot right there for me. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
mine's going from 0.65, it looks like, to 0.56.
okay, so you're losing rake as you go, so that's going to loosen you up as you go.
Yep.
All right, there you go. There you go. I mean, I was definitely getting loose as I was going, but let's see if I do this one. There's a 0.79 compared to 0.70. Now my rake's not moving. Not enough for it to be an issue. Okay.
And a
Um,
lot of that probably has to do with your stiffer springs.
yeah, yeah, it sure does. Sure does. Let me see here. Okay, I think we're done. What else you got for them? We're in this for 18 minutes. Yeah, we should wrap this up.
Yep. I'm good.
So we got it's 110 laps tonight. What are you doing for pits?
Pits, I'm
If it
thinking
stays green, what are you gonna do?
if it stays green, we can go about 80 laps. I'd probably it depends on where you're at. If you're in the back, I think you can take a chance on if your car's not running the way you really want it to. I think you can take a chance on splitting it and pitting at like 35 and 35 maybe, or maybe 35 and 40. So 30 laps 35 to 40 on the first run, and then 75 to 80 on the second run maybe. Um,
Hmm.
Hitting right there. If you're running up front, I think you gotta take a chance and run, split it in half, lap 55 and pit.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Yeah.
Unless unless there's a bunch of people that just decide to come and make it a two-stop race. I know I made the point to pit twice at Homestead and got caught several times by a caution at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And I was just fighting myself back to get on the lead lap and having to play catch up. That's the one downside, but there's a ton of speed to be made up. Especially after 20 laps, the fall off is so good that you're going to have guys running 29s, And if you're back there running with them guys in the 29s, you may can gap yourself and gap them and pick up a couple spots.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm the way the trend I'm seeing on iRacing. I think it's going to be lap 35 and lap 70. That leaves me 40 laps for the last run. That gives me time to make adjustments if I need to, and then it saves me a set of tires if we do get a 15 to go or something like that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and then I've seen. I think Jack was saying that he did it in his league race where he did a two pit strategy, and the time he was getting back, he got his lap back and won the race.
Yeah.
So
I think the strategy is there if it goes green. The problem is, there's always a chance of a caution.
right, that's true. And actually, in that race last night we did, yeah, I pitted early, so the caution came out. So those of us that did pit early stayed up front and got the wave around. Um,
Yeah. I think at one point
so
when that caution came out, there was only 6 people on the lead lap.
Mm-hmm. Everybody was pitting already. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's okay. But that's what last night's free race was for. The Saturday night race was for, is find out is your car going to make it, and if it's not, then you do want to pit early and make that adjustment, type of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's yeah. But I mean it's always a crapshoot. Do you pit early and hope for? I guess it depends on the. You know what? I guess it really depends on the cars on the track. If you see them, if you see a guy having trouble, there's going to be yellows. Right? Eventually he's
Yes.
going to wreck that car.
Yep.
If everybody's running solid and tight and nobody's yelling at each other, you race me too hard, you're cutting me off. If you don't have any language going on, it's going to be a green flag race.
Yep.
Just an
Yeah,
idea.
everybody's going to be. One thing I like to always pay attention to is how active is the voice chat in the lobby.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, if they're cussing and swearing at each other already, then you know there's going to be yellows.
Yep.
Because somebody makes somebody mad, paybacks are coming, and here comes your yellow.
Yep. And cautions breed cautions on these restarts.
Yeah. All right, buddy, let's get out of here. Let's see. There's this open server. Somebody's got an open server going already. I'll probably jump in that instead of starting one. Um, and are you running the race tonight, or do you have trick or treating going on?
I do not have trick or treating going on, so I should be able to make it.
There you go. My wife's in charge of the front door, so I will make it.
All right. I look forward to it.
All right, buddy. We'll see you after a while. Thanks for joining. And, you guys, thanks for watching Buster's Corner. And the comments will be down below. And leave your comments whether you like this show, whether we're doing good for you guys, if it's helpful or not, or what we can add or take away from it. All right, buddy. Happy race day.
Happy race day.
Bye bye.